What is the fastest and absolute best way to overcome social anxiety? Today, I'm going to share with you kind of a story of what I went through on my journey so that it helps you guys understand that there might be a better way to overcome social anxiety besides brute force, willpower, trying to power past the fear. I see this so often when people recommend advice to people who are struggling with social anxiety. You see this all the time if you go on Reddit, the social anxiety subreddit. People will say, like, just to expose to the fear, do it over and over until it no longer bothers you. Keep facing the stressful situation, and basically you'll become desensitized to it. People think this is the best way to attack this problem, by confronting it head on and just like pushing yourself into the situation, and eventually your body will just get used to it. This is the approach that I tried. The main thing I did when I first started to try to deal with my social anxiety and the issues I had around people with like self-consciousness and just feeling uncomfortable, I got a job serving tables, and every night I would go in and I'd serve all these tables, like 50 customers a night. So I'd talk to all these people, and I would feel all this just rush, this nervous energy activating inside my body. And my strategy to deal with it was to basically push past it and just put my head down and grit my teeth and just do it. Just do it. That's what they say. Just do it, and eventually the fear will no longer bother you. Well, I tried that strategy for around 2 years. I served tables 5 nights a week. Every single week, I would go in, serve tables, talk to all these people, talk to my coworkers, and I kind of adjusted to the pressure and the stress of being in that environment. I got better at handling my shit, basically, and talking to people. I could go up to a table, serve them, and hold it together, basically. But the whole time when I was doing that, it's like I was presenting this outward face of like confidence and like, okay, I know what I'm doing. But the whole time on the inside, I was just like so tense and stressed out and just trying not to mess up and make any awkward mistakes, because that was like the most devastating thing to me, is if I was awkward at the table, if I tripped over my words, if I did something to embarrass myself. Like if I tripped over my words, my immediate reflex and instinct was to try to pretend it didn't happen. I would try to just like gloss over it. And of course that would only make the situation even more awkward. And I just feel this just burning humiliation, this burning sensation in my body of like, I messed up again. And I just got so frustrated and mad at myself for messing up. And so that was my kind of approach to overcoming social anxiety. The main thing I used was forced exposure and just getting a retail job, where I was talking to people every single night. I did other things on the side, like going to the gym and positive thinking and other stuff. But the main practice I employed to get past my social anxiety was forced exposure and just desensitizing myself to the stress over and over every night. And it was really hard in the beginning, but after a few months, I did start to improve at that job. Like I said, I got used to the pressure and the stress, and I could handle it better. I could navigate that situation through the night without so many mistakes and making it awkward, and just the stress did go down. I will say that, thanks to exposure. But the problem is that the fear inside my body never really resolved. Though like the feelings of fear subsided somewhat through that job, it never fully went away. I found that the fear always stayed in my body no matter how long I did it. Like even 2 years after serving tables and talking to thousands of people, I would still feel all this activation of nervous energy in my body when I first went into work every single time. Like the first 30 minutes of work was always painful. It was always this process of, here we go again. Like I have to deal with all this discomfort and try to work my way into the feeling of being comfortable talking to people and walking up to these tables. So it never actually went away. The fear only kind of subsided somewhat. And what I want to talk to you guys about today is a much better way to deal with your fears and anxieties around people. It's not through forced exposure and putting yourself into the situation over and over and just bashing your head into the wall. I think a much better way to tackle this problem is to look where the fear is coming from in the first place. Why is there this massive uprising of nervous energy in your body when you have to do something social, or when you're put on the spot, or when you're talking to people, or when some event is coming up in your life, like you have to give a presentation for class, or you have to order food at a store? What is triggering all this nervous energy to come up into your body? That's really what you want to focus on. Don't focus on just like trying to brute force your way past it. Try to understand why this fear is coming up. And the way to do that is you have to start looking into your body. Your mind's tendency will be to run away from all this nervous feeling that's coming up. It's not pleasant or fun to feel this energy. So the mind's basically, its strategy is to resist and fight and try to push down what you're feeling in your body so that none of the nervous energy comes up into your social interactions. That's basically what you're doing. That's the unconscious process behind what you're doing. You're trying to suppress the nervous energy so no one will see what you're going through. And this strategy, though it can like get you through the situation in the short term, for me, I found in the long term, it doesn't help you actually to resolve the fear. It merely creates a container around it, basically, where the fear still lives inside you. And every single time it will come up again in the next social situation that you have. You'll be able to get through that social situation when you push down the nervous energy in your body, but the next time it will show up again. And that's what happened to me with my job waiting tables. I would each day I would go into work, the fear would come up again and I'd have to deal with it. My strategy was to push it down and try not to feel it. And I just found it didn't work. 2 years of serving tables, talking to thousands of people, and I still could not feel relaxed and truly comfortable in my skin. That's because my strategy for dealing with that fear was basically to press it down and to try to hide it inside my body so that people couldn't see what I was going through. And I found that you have to, in order to successfully deal with the fear, you have to understand that it's in your body and you need to change the relationship to your feelings and what you do when you go into social situations. When you start to feel that fear come up in your body, you don't want to fight it and try to push past it and suppress it. You want to allow it to come up and try to keep your mind unreactive from that nervous energy. You want to feel it without reacting to it. You want to let it be there, but act in a way that it doesn't affect you. You have to let it come up into your body. You have to feel it in order to begin to process it and release it. That's the only way you'll truly get past the fear, is when it can come up and you're not reactive to it. So that's basically all it is. That's the whole process of overcoming social anxiety, is to allow as much as you can that nervous energy to come up into your body. Feel it in your chest, feel it in your stomach, feel how your body's tensing up, your shoulders, and try not to fight it. Try to flow with it and feel it. And when you can do that, you basically start the process where you're not feeding the fear anymore. Because the whole time when you try to push it down, when you try to fight against it, you're essentially keeping it alive in your body. Your mind is giving it fuel. And evidence that there is something to be afraid of. So when you stop reacting to it, when you allow the fear, when you feel it fully in your body and allow it to be there, you're talking to another person, you feel all this nervous energy, but you don't try to hide the nervous energy. You just let it be exactly where it is in your body. That's when the fear will slowly start to diffuse. It will lose its charge. And basically the next time you go into that situation, it'll go down maybe a couple percent, like 1% each time. Each time you successfully allow the fear to be in your body and not run away from it, not try to fight it, not push past it, just allow it to be there. It'll slowly lose its charge over time. And I've really found that this is the best way to deal with the fear. It's not just to smash your head against a wall and try to brute force your way past it, to use all this willpower to say, I'm gonna get out there, I'm gonna push past the fear, I'm gonna do it. This is not the way to solve social anxiety in the long term permanently. You need to work with the fear in a different way. It seems counterintuitive to allow it and to like surrender to the fear in your body, but that is the only way past it. Feel it, allow it to be there, don't react to it, and repeat that process. That's basically it. And I will see you guys in the next video.